Yeah, that this one. That got to dig any sense of the name and watch it. And dig here the Lanita, Chijeta, and it's on Batocha, and the young Inzo, or the little chimper.
So, with the text, so of course, we finish about the verse, which is the expressions of homage, and then there's a verse which is the author's promise to compose the text, and now we're up to the verse which is on renunciations.
Oh, Tandi Gunelani, that Geshe Losang Dorje, Shonju Sando, Yuntopitawa Santa Rambaji to She Yungore. That tin on a tombo, Ninju to She Yuntala, Ninju Telani, such a sonji on a Shigure, Tombo, Ninju so give it says. Ane, ta Ninju to She with a task. Ane, ta Ninju says. Ninju to Kandisi me. Or the niggas such a son of Chine. Gosha Janet and She this.
So, so the text now goes in detail about each of the three principal aspects of the path: renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. And so it begins with the explanation on renunciations, and which is done in three headings. So the first is to show, why we need to cultivate renunciations, and then second is the means of cultivating renunciation, and then the third is to show the measurement or the degree of having cultivated renunciation.
Ta ni tsendi dewa senanda, ani ta tawa senanda, toje chempa senanda, ani tsu toba chabi cheta ni deshi yabuji toba chabi cheta ni ngenju shekure sene deshi yore. Ta ngenju shekui jinse ta te toba chabi cheta ngenju shekui jinse karar sena, ani ta di tsi suyun gore. Nanda ngenju me pa sunso his. Dende tenye shivi ta me las. Sala komba ichu li cheno, kane chi tuma ngenju tsa sene. O ti tsi tiga ne ngenju tso gibi jinse ti che go yores.
So the reason why we need to cultivate renunciations. So is we find that in this verse which read, without pure renunciation, there is no means to pacify the yearning for the joys and the fruit of samsaric ocean, and as craving for existence chain us thoroughly, at first search for true renunciations. So in here, the text shows that renunciation is necessary. Whether we wish for happiness in this life, or we wish to achieve the happiness of the state of liberation from cyclic existence, or even the supreme happiness of the complete enlightenment.
Chizata tsi ten do di na jma tane mate tsi shewaina. Ani ta nga tso kwa tuma mepa ne, ani dewan depa to, dunga mandepa, shewa kandechi luna yo, dewan depa to, dunga mandepi ga shewa chuchu le yo res. De nga tso kandesi tene haku kurse na, tsendel po na, tsendel po ne, ani tsendel ta dewa mato dunga mandepa ten noji, ani shewa ngama, di ngama ta shewa chume pa tela. Ani dewan depa to depa. Dunga mendepa te ni tela te ni haku
So So taking into account of our this current life situations, we can, if we observe this our current life situations, so it is very clear to us that how there is the innately, or we are always seeking for happiness and trying to avoid sufferings, and so so based on this, our observation of this current life situation, so we can also understand that the same also goes to all the so many, like infinite number of life that we have found, we have gone through in the past since beginningless time in the cyclic existence. So regardless of what form of life we have taken, but there's always in all those form of life. So we have been seeking for happiness but trying to avoid sufferings.
제장안에 다 대원대바 대용이 될아요. 대와 정치 이나도 어찌리 대와 좀 많이 봐. 디체다. 아니 타나피 수도 기슈나고 돈에비 니 칼레 몽보시다. 시와지 니 말에 시와 좀에 빠지라네. 자 선바레스. 아니 대다 자 예와대요. 아니 같이 챈달라 보네. 아니 대다 자 예와대 학고 도그레스. So likewise, how in this life, we are not only we seek for happiness and we want to avoid sufferings, but at this, we have been also have been working hard, be struggling hard to achieve, hard to find happiness and to avoid sufferings. Sometimes even people there are situations where even we sacrifice our own life as to find this, fulfill this innate desire for happiness and not sufferings. So this also also shows that for since beginningless time, so we can also that we have been. It's not only this wanting happiness and not wanting suffering is not only in our wish list, but we have been trying very hard, to find that, and even sometimes even at the cost of our own life to find that. 단다용단이 가주다는 문터네. 된데 대화 세로다 세심보 기존보 아니 대사야보 아니 체와다미 톰년도 아니 딘디 체다니다 비 칼레 림바지 자데고 다데 시와 통마메 바네 자데야 그 칼레테 시체들이세나 세심보로 와이다 아니 기야 보지로 와야다 아니 내콘야 보지로 와야다 아니 체와다니 톰년도 지더니 그 아니 로야 그 체다니다 칼레 모보지 자 선바레 단다유 자데고 요레스 and so we in order to find the happiness or to avoid suffering, so we can see we are very much focused on improving our external conditions, such as the finding a food, looking for food, or finding a good clothing or a comfortable shelters, and also specifically we are also looking for to gain some like a name and reputations. So this is something which again, if we look, we see these things, the condition, these factors as a source of
finding happiness and to lessening sufferings, and which we can observe in our experience in this current life. And so from this we can also say that this is what we have been doing in all those past many beginningless times to in order to fulfill this our innate desire for happiness.
chi shenge ina da, chi ma shenge ina da, chi shinge ina da, chi ma shinge ina da. Gangalo la kalo ya poda ni dilu zumbo, ani ta desa kumba, ani ta tanji goyo re, ta de mena, ani nga zo zupo te zo togo mare.
So there is no doubt that whether the people have a faith in religion or in Dharma, or they are non-believers, but everyone really seek for the best of everything, like best of the food and clothing, and that is there is no doubt, and at the same time it is also the fact that to some extent even this physical body is depending upon those material conditions. So without depending on those material conditions, even our this body or our life is not survival of life is not possible.
Ta te to ni gono ni ta te to di che to kale ja go yare. Kale ma jana ni te to yon to go mare. Che ta ni ta kangi chenbo ji gu ne ta te to me bi tu ne nga chi ji dro go se ge na. Ta shewo chenbo ta kawa tu denge je mala re pa ta na ina misari ma to. She ni kangi chenbo ji gu ne ni chi dro go ge na chi pe kale ka cha go res.
So even to achieve, to gain all those good material conditions, we have to work very hard. Otherwise, without working hard, without putting great deal of efforts, we cannot even achieve those things, those basic material things. We have to work very hard. So in the same time, when we talk about the achieving our spiritual goal, again, so we have to understand that we have to work, we have to put a great deal of effort. So, we cannot, to think of this, to achieving the spiritual goal easily or at ease is very unrealistic. We can if we look at the early highly realized great masters' life, we see how like the life of the great like the meditator, like the Milarepas. We haven't looked at how they didn't achieve their spiritual goal easily as well.
chi se di salang ngaso semba ji tong ko yo. Semba ji tong ko ta xiang hama ne ni semba te ta jesik sendi ko tong nyan do segin la su pa tni go xiu ji cha de ta semba ji tong de le la wo ji ni yo mar te yi rim bi ngu ne ma ji tong ko yo re. Te ma to ni ya ti ni ko ya chena an ma ka che ni ma lama ji chi sun di sala anta lanzang chi che gi sen cha su pha li chi ta ane chi no na ji lo kha shi de ane je la ni chi che ma to ane penjo me ane ji ku chi che nge lama te la ni kha to ne ngan ri che ti chara ho de sen ne tni she de nge no renga yung go ye sarwa che chang ane chi she pa la yu kale lo ne lo to ane che ge ri ma to ni ho te kai yu ha ji ma res.
So here, we are talking about following the practice of dharmas, And so if we ask what does the practice of Dharma means, then it means to transforming or changing, changing our mind, our state of mind, and so this such practice which enable us to bring change in our mind. It's not something which we are are used to or which we are familiar with. It's not some we can say that it's not something that we have been doing, familiarize ourselves in so many past life, but in fact it's on the contrary. So therefore we have to be it does take a time and have to expect our progress in a very slow pace, and we cannot expect to be able to make a sudden progress in the practice. So otherwise if you don't have that right kind of the mental perspective of the Dharma and how and our approach to Dharma, then there are some cases, for example, where people, when they first hear about Dharma, they were so moved, so inspired by the Dharma, that the teaching of the Dharma, that they will suddenly make a drastic decisions of such as giving up all their worldly worldly life, worldly possessions, and then in order to follow the teaching of their teacher or their lamas, and then however then they later on, then as they find that the practice they're finding the practice very difficult, and they feel very frustrated with that fact that they feel like they're not making any progress, then suddenly they start to disparage the Dharma, and even sometimes disparage their they blame to their lamas that how it has the cause has ruined their life in terms of their not only they lack not able to make progress in Dharma, but also now they are behind with the worldly life, and so therefore it's important to approach Dharma, in a mental attitude where we have to understand the Dharma very clearly, and then trying to practice one thing at a time, and make a slowly trying to make the progress along the path.
Cheta anita sende noji tsera ngama nosa yulani dewa cheta ni kale mbuchi ni jayor inaya ani tent dewa singi de tanda yo toyo mare ta ti jinse karar sena ani ta ngati shewa ngama nosa dewa diti sala ta sende noji ga ni mari pato donza nganza sikra ta nganza ti tani ti ungi ga ni decho 아니 드니고 운기가 다 칼레제네 니 대원 소디고 그러와 디 운기가 칼레제네 대원 소나 아니 텐데 대와지 로타요 말레스 아니 대인자 에 단다요 텐데 다와 토픽이 진세나데 알아서 단자 돈 대초 드니고 운기가 칼레자자와 진세 진사를 송데스.
So despite the fact that how we put a lot of effort in order to try to achieve the happiness, but in this life and also since beginningless time, that we know that we have not achieved the lasting, everlasting state of happiness. So So then why we are not able to achieve this everlasting happiness, then we can find that the reason is because we we are under the control of the ignorance of like a self-grasping, and then out of that, and due to that ignorance, then we fall under the influence of like a desire or the attachment, and so therefore at the moment, and even in the past, so many past lives, so all the kind of the happiness that we seek, pleasure that we seek, is all under the influence or due to the force of this our attachment or the desire, which is rooted in this is ignorance, self-grasping, and so therefore it is because of this desire that we are not able to find the free ourselves from this the suffering existence.
제장아 진짜 가르치는 돈저돈 단 대처 온기거니 뒤에 온기건 다 대화 드셔주고 니 대화텔라 니 셔주고 대화텔라 코에 대화시 거래 단 코에 대화데 칸에서는 템보 메봐 이제 주슈임 봐 대외고 마임 봐 이제 주슈해 와 대우 이제와데 가네 걸 적어서는 등에 거 언제 주슈가 아니 드니지가 대화해야 돼요 그래서
So we can say the kind of happiness that we have been seeking and we have been finding is we can say it's kind of like the pleasure or the happiness of cyclic existence or samsaras, and and it's called the samsaric happiness in the sense because it is caused by the desires and ignorance, and so therefore so because it is in a the samsaric happiness, samsaric pleasure, that it is very transient or very impermanent in nature, and more specifically, it has in the nature of changing into the form of sufferings, change into the form of miseries. So everything that shows therefore there is no we cannot rely on. Therefore, it is not reliable that these samsaric pleasure or happiness are not reliable or sustainable.
제장아니 다 드니근 고위그 대화তে서라 니 센티네 니 쇼와세그나나 인주세그나나 드니지 메나 메바 데시더니 아니 다 타와세나다 땐 대화테 아니 토픽었더니 다 매와 있어서.
So there, as long as we we are attached to fully attached to that kind of this pleasure of cyclic existence, then there is no way for us to achieve the higher form of happiness, that is the happiness of the state of liberations.
제장아더니다 단나가 좀 말이 봐도 나한테 진대요래. 아니 대웅기가 코와 코이고래. 대웅기가 다 레도 서 아니 오시와지 말더니 아니 라문다실 시에로 그러와. 대인자 아니다 대도 두바샤비고 싶다. 네 도마 년주시 그래서 다 년주시 기비진세 데리다. 다 딘리가 네 고외 대화다. 네. 돈좀 말이 봐. 아니 다 솔라티네 대화 토해야 되고 때모 매와 있자. 다 아니 때도 대화지 더 그거에나 도망 인주시 그래서 어느 인주시 유지세 다니세스. 셰그 유지세.
So the why we need to cultivate renunciations. So it's because the kind of happiness or the pleasure that we find within cyclic existence, is not reliable. It's not lasting, and also that how, as long as we are under the power of this the ignorance of self-graspings, and then how then we will get the falls under the influence of then desires, and then out of and because of the desire, then we will then will inevitably then create accumulate karma, like a throwing karma, and as a result of this karma, then we will take rebirth, born reborn in this cyclic existence, and see how without if we don't break this chain of the ignorance and the delusion and the karma, and then how we cannot free ourselves, or we cannot find ourselves from samsara, or to achieve the liberations from some cyclic existence. So therefore, it is we need to cultivate. Therefore, it is important to cultivate the renunciations as which is an intention or a strong thought to leave the cyclic existence.
다 가서 다 때한테 대화스러워. 다 대화 tempo ninja와 미피 대화지 구에나 아니 디체도 ninju시 구에나 다 ninju시가 타데 가르레스. 다 가서 다시 그거로. ninju시 다시시. ninju시 다시데 가르레스나 데 사진이 바디 건거 주는 거래서.
So the if it's necessary necessary for us to cultivate renunciations, so in order to achieve the lasting or the permanent state of happiness, it's kind of a happiness which once we achieve that, once we gain that, then we will have that forever. It will never losing it ever. and so if we wish that, then if the renunciation is necessary in order to achieve that the lasting state of happiness, then to show how to cultivate the renunciations, then this text goes to the next verse.
제장아 다텔라 자와제나니 시동제나니 센델은 인주시비가 타 세시만은 인주시비가 타스 드니스네니 고아텔라 센데도 세시만 드니에이자 아니 다 동보니 센델은 인주시비 타 가르레스네 아니 텔 자와제나 단전니가 셀라 노메비 예라 콤비 센딘 후시에 도우스네 아니 지진이 수준데스 지군이 지요스로 So the text, the next verse which read, by cultivating in mind that this human life is so hard to find, yet has no time to spare, preoccupation with this life will cease. By contemplating repeatedly the truth of karma and samsaric suffering, preoccupation with the next life will come to cease. So in here, we find the cultivation of renunciation on two levels. So on one level, the renunciation with respect to this current life, and then on the other level, a renunciation with respect to the future life. 제자 치디 가르세고 그러잖아. 단다 같이 그 토지 그 리텐데냐 먹이 리테데. 아니 타와도 토지 준비고 드레팔라 아니 짜체 뭐지 임바도. 아니 요네 용도 니야가와. 니야파 대용 단다 니야파 대용이 니야다가니 다 지지 마드나 마드바마도 아니 신에니 니지라와 임바. 드니지 대용 거레스.
So the first two lines when it says by cultivating in mind that this human life is so hard to find, yet has no time to spare, preoccupation with this life will cease. So this relates to the to renunciations with respect to this current life, and so in this line the text reminds us that how this life of human that we have found now, how it is so in terms of achieving the state of liberations, how precious, how valuable it is, and then also it shows how it is precious and valuable, but however it is also is very rare to find, to find again, and so this touches on making the best use of this the precious life of human.
대우다 지 동보 단조 생기시도 단조 생기되고 다와 생기되고 콤바스 콤바스는 치저월라 콤바 치저월라 디세야바 드니가 다와 제 조와세리 친드비그 특제 자수 초den이 그 조와죠 드니서 시행인 거 그래서
So we find in this the verse where it says it's I can't find in English. So in the Tibetan version, so they're saying the human life of leisure and endowments. So you find that actual words in the text. So the human life of leisure and endowments. So leisure is to indicate that we having an opportunity, having a freedom, and that is to in terms of the practicing dharmas. So there's a what is so there's a it's when it says the life of leisure, means it's shown in terms of practicing dharma. So there is an opportunity. There's this life of this human. So provide that excellent opportunity and freedom, and then the endowment. So the leisure. So there are 8 leisures there. So then the endowment there are 10. So these 10 are to show the 10 conducive factors to factors in terms of practicing dharmas.
제가 다 이제 단조시비 단조 제생 딩이는 바지 지시와이나 소소지 맞다 강가로 지 소노지 동와이나 단단 가지고 아니 단야와 이도 던돌 마시지데 다 계시 던돌이 시와이나 아니 치디비가 등에 온 게니 치디비가 까매 봐도 아니 다 소소 치땡이 기회신이라서 봐 말아봐도 아니 다 등에 온 게비 티 노요니 치디니 거가 매워레스.
So going in details, so when it says the human life of leisure, if you found a life of leisure, that's which include there's 8 types of leisure. So when you possess those at leisure, then you have an opportunity, you have a excellent freedom to practice dharmas, because otherwise, like for example, right now, so instead of being born as a perfect human being, so suppose if you're born as any form of lower rebirth, like in animals, then you won't have that leisure or the excellent opportunity to practice dharma, such as you won't have opportunity to meet the perfect spiritual teacher and the teachings, and so in fact your life will be very much subject to intense suffering. So the ignorance that there is, it becomes impossible for one to think of dharma.
제장하다 냐와에도 던로라 수피누네 던로티 테시 테누네 트라와리티 이나요 던지 누네라 당가 주피 통치라 근데 던로 슈바요리세 던디 저사더니 네 던로 이나요 빼나 친다고더니 이나요 아니 다 진짜 손노토네 아니 도메 바 관세바도 니 쇼주지 생공세바도 드니 친이요 말와 드니 슈리스 마시비 니 이제되네 아니 친애가 건 신고매로 땅가서디 던로 슈바츠 데그 칠라수바고 드니고 드니제데 그래서 다 연도지도 드니 다치미 다 드니제데 그래서
So, for example, in the list of the 8 leisures, so there's a 4 leisure which says not being born as an animal, as a hungry ghost, as a hell beings, or as a long-living God, and so forth. So now, if we, of course, we are not born as those the lower rebirth, but if we imagine that if we are born there, then forget about being born in the hell realms or in the hungry ghosts, even in the animal world, for example, some dogs and cats, the animal that we can see, and how if we are born like that, then if we can imagine, is it we have an opportunity? Of course, we do not have the opportunities to learn about dharmas, because no matter how much you teach the animal on the view of emptiness, or they're not going to understand. It's not possible for them to understand. Likewise, it's not possible for them to cultivate like a bodhicittas, compassions, and so forth. If you trying to teach them, so therefore, these are all becomes an obstacles, hindrances for one to if you're born in any of the lower rebirths, so it becomes a hindrance for one to practice dharma.
제장하다 같이 슈바츠 댕게 던들라 소발라 아니 가르쳐 제와 이제 계시지 예나요 초도도 제비 제와 초도도 제비 제와지마도 아니 샴바도 아니 이제 네 라서 초도 만데비가네 이제도 자 아니 샴발라 소파 시가 걸어와 대인자다 맞아 던디질 맞아 시요 말에 녀네야 심발라 가와가 아니 드리지 마셔야 돼. 가와서 뭐 냠바시. 드리가 뒤서시 그래서.
So there is when we talking about cultivating a love and a compassion, so we're talking about a pure like a very unconditional love and compassion towards other beings. So because otherwise, of course, even as animals, they can feel love towards others, just as we feel love towards others. But however, our love and the compassion we feel toward others, so mostly, so these are all stained by the our desires, or has an influence of desire or attachment. So therefore, we can say that if you talk about this pure and unconditional, cultivating unconditional pure love and compassion, then it's not possible for the lesser form, lower rebirth to cultivate that. So therefore, it's how we have to think how wonderful that born as a human being. So at least we have that opportunity, have that great potential to cultivate this pure and unconditional love and compassion for all other beings.
Inada Muliji Toyer, Mulitoye Nayo, Nita Mulitova Zola, Halej Shiramevri, Kaisena, Ni Mulito di Salani, Sujechine Shamanuni, Ni Tintan Zomalitan Lishiva Gayore, Ni Suji Shanayo, Zomali Suji Shanayo, Soso Desigoni, Jahare, Tatanila, Ani Suji Pemanuna, Suji Tamba Tamanuna, Ani yo, Soso. Chishepi kawayo mare. Yon chi suji shi pewe ni taniga ta khol she sona ya ni soso ga ni chi nyembi suji ga chi te sono to ne jog wa iza ni sono to ya ga taniga to matangi ta ta umbola so bi tolo do sona ani ya mta lil mai lil loncho mi xewa lencho ni ta shi ga 아니 할지 좀 매러와 어떤지스 뭐또 졸지 문제 냐베니 다야 소소 가서 머리 써서나지 이 광고에서래
So and then the eighth leisure also includes the other, like such as it's because it's not just not enough, not sufficient simply to be born as a human beings, but if you are not born in a time where the Buddha has not appeared, then we won't have we will be deprived of this of the Dharma Dharma. So therefore it has to be the time we have to be born as a human being. We have to be born in the time when Buddha appeared in the world, and then at the same time, even though the Buddha appeared in the world, but if the time that you take rebirth, where if the teaching of the Buddha has been already been declined or has been already disappeared, then again we would lack this opportunity to meet dharmas, and then likewise, even though all those, we're born in the right time, but however, if we are born with some damage with our with our faculties, like a sense organs, and then like a faulty faculties, then of course then again that is not is going to be difficult, because when in order to practice Dharma, so we have to have the sound mental faculty, which is very important, and so therefore, just to think, it's important to as one contemplate on this, the life of leisure and endowment. So it's important to think of, to feel that how fortunate, how wonderful that one is born as a human being, a perfect human being, and having all these the good conditions, suitable conditions to follow Dharma.
So in Cheza Pena ngazo ani suji jitemba yesa she ani ta so ani giwe shinyala sopa te tindi yena yo ani ta chidrupala met murumi ni pena migumbola sobala shiasuna mil shiasuna ani peshana tro lo thago mare tejeda ani anju gamba na chasuna ani 다 개신이라 수비 치템발라 티토가 말에 대제도 수수수 치드발라네 소노토고 와이자 아니 소노토야 그다 레발라 소파툴론로 데 그다 냐 드니기 시에나 아니야 치드토고 말에 제자 아니 던로 시문데 현비가네 안타 치드비고 거가 밀리야 포지트런데 현비가 아니 드리고 가와고네 요니도 콤바치고 있어서.
So it's important to take rejoice in the fact that how fortunate one is to find such a perfect human life of leisure and endowments, that how you have all your you have very sound all the sense organs, otherwise how if there's if you're born like a blind, then you won't be able to to read the Dharma texts or scriptures, nor if you're born like a deaf, then you won't be able to hear the teaching from the from the teachers, and likewise if you're born with some like a brain damage, again then that can be difficult mentally, the disadvantage for one to practice dharmas. So just thinking on this, then just to think one should feel very feel positives and rejoice in the fact that how fortunate one is to having found this such a wonderful life.
Tinzatani taya umbola soba chasu tsondena ta nguje lebala sobela chi reaga sono to tanayo yanji lutache jinre khemalenge shiwanga khemalenge o tenil ji shena ya ani chidbi ko kayo marwa tinzata nanga zotani pamade shinzure ani susu tutu pore nomi ina je kande ji jewa ina 소소 칠 대화에 와도 아니 돈노에 바시도 시와텔라니 가와중 부신도 윤형바지 아니 드니까 가와고 있어서.
And then in addition to the having the leisure of being born without any the defects of the sense like faculties. Then, in addition to that, then it's also to not having, not holding any wrong view, such as if you're holding wrong view with relate to the triple gem, 3 jewels, where you lack faith in the 3 jewels, or lack faith in the law of karmas, or any faith in the existence of life before and after, and so forth. So when you wrong view, and if you hold such a wrong view, then that can obstruct, can be one from the following the Dharma, part of the Dharmas. So the fact that you do not have such a wrong view, so that is also is a wonderful thing, and one should take feel good about that as well.
다 디고텔라니 조와ච්체들이 조와ච්체세나다 나가솔 자수 손대였다 미소 제비고네 니 가솔때 치드발라 니 다와제도 조와ච්체 자수 손대요 대인자다 다 드니고 단조 그 쪼제촌이 그 물린데니 배치지네 아니 다 녀무 뒤슬라소바니 아니 다 추네 네 체네 추르도 추네 매바동대야가니 다시라니 남배바 쉬지 못서 그래서라 뭐도 셰티 돈에 다가로 매와서 그선에 비티지 쉬우지 되서나 되지 갈래커로 또 뭐네니 럼바지다마 첨보에 와대 되지 춘주죠 되니 좀 럼바지다마 녀서 랭고 그래서
So then there's also 10 endowments So which I won't list them here. So in fact, we have found a human life which is blessed with all these 8 leisure and 10 endowments. So there's the life of this the 18 excellent the attributes or characteristics, and so is so there is all the the conducive factors are there and are with our life, and there's no and free of all any obstacles or any or any adverse factors which in terms of practicing dharmas. So therefore to think of that there is what we need to how to make the best use of this this life, the life of the leisure and endowment. So we need to counteract, to direct our life to counteract these what we call as the 3 positive states of mind, or the negativities within our mind, and so this also, as I said before, it's important to adopt the right kind of mental attitudes in terms of the right kind of approach to our practice, that we have to see that we cannot expect this our practice to overcome all this negativities, all of them all together, but rather to see to diminish them stage by stage. So if we have a very great amount, so we're trying to reduce this kind of certain amount to make it smaller, and so in this way it's a step by step that according to to accord with one's own capacities, one's own practice, then we should approach our Dharma practice, but with the consistencies also.
And then they ledu nyemu byung shunga jire inayo tawadu toji chimbi kumbu dropala kola tene ane tawadu toji chimbi kumbu dragu te insa ni jase lole sodo male karisun yorisena danjo trichense ne tangatul lipo tene jansi parondo wala ne triko noji pecho sharo jansi parondo wala triko tengu ten noji tawadu toji chimbi kumbu dropala ane lindele tene ane dratagresine.
So on one hand, of course, we can understand that how this life that we have found now is the product, really the product of our past karma and past mental delusions, and then. But on the other hand, we also trying to understand that it is, as we find here, that this life is very because this life possesses all those 8 leisure and 10 endowments. So it is very precious, and it is of great value, great meanings. So in fact, we find in the 37 practice of the Bodhisattvas, so where it says there's using analogies of this the board of this life, human life of leisure and endowments. So where the life is the compared to like a boat. So the this is to show that how by relying upon, by depending on this life, so like just as a boat can carry us to the other side of the sea or the ocean, so likewise this by depending on this life, so we can reach to the other shore of the cyclic existence. Yes.
아니 다 가족을 리포데 이 노블에 주고 라파래 예송거래. 디지제 가리 중거스나 이지 노브디가 네다 니마다 시소도 오지라 이시 노브데 생이데 시라소나 텔라 멜론도 부지자오이나 센디게 디시 부수 주반 주거래 세거래. 이내야다 센데마도 네 시와시말 탄도 말와. 다 가족 물린디가 센데도 시와시마데 비때도 되와 토대야가 지드터고 이자 아니 이 노블에 주 라파레스네 네 지르무지 같은 수셔야레스.
Also the great Tsong Khapa, he said in one prayer that the life of leisure and endowments, life of leisure and endowment is more valuable than a wish-fulfilling jewel. So the wish-fulfilling jewel is like a set described as some sort of object, like a jewel, precious objects, which if you can grant all whatever we wishes. If by praying to that. So here the wishes is mostly the wishes that this jewel can grant is mainly the worldly wishes. Something that we in this worldly wishes, but not the the wishes to achieve like the liberation and so forth. So however, as the Tsong Khapa said in that prayer, but this life is even more precious, more valuable than the wish-fulfilling jewel, because by depending on that we can even not only all our worldly wishes, but also all our transcendental, like the liberations. Our wishes beyond this world can be also granted.
제산도나 다 가서 좀물인들 배선비 냉곰볼을 줘야 세시네. 제 라마 쫑가 봐야 세시는다. 아니 다 개더니데 지시오던 봐. 네 다시 쇼주 삼바 참말로네. 단도 가지 리데도 찌바 레데요. 디니자 리데 가지 리데도 찌바 디인 거네라니. 다 타와도 도지심이 고모드네 토스바. 드리제데 이자 아니 맞추고 토야겠다 단디게 내가 단조데 아니 대체와도 자침보지란 거 소소지 아니 드니지 무엇이 봐서 소이데 개침모 인사레스.
And also we also need to remember that even all those great many past masters, such as the great Lama Tsong Khapa and his two spiritual sons, and like the great Indian master like the Nagarjuna and so on. So all those great highly realized beings, so they all reach to the ultimate spiritual goal by relying on this just a human life, perfect human life. And so in this way, so in similar way, so what we have to understand, we have to recognize that if we too, if we utilize and relying on this perfect human life, then we can also reach the ultimate spiritual goal. And so in this way, to think of the cherishes the value or the preciousness of this human life.
tani zata, wana nga zo tanyon de za chenpo re desha. Ina yang, anta shewa shimala dra chugare, shewa shimala yuni yunta tanyon de shegare, soso tani yugu yewa ina na. Ani ta, shewa shimala tanyon de jili te lewa la, ani tsen de la, ani kalaya puji maja na, ani shewa shimala de junji mewa de, ani tana nga zo tanyon nyeka asine, ani kunga tsawe ka tsi nungla, tanyo nye kaasi nye pakawa tiga, ani shega yores.
And so having recognized that the value, the great value or the preciousness of this life, or human life of leisure and endowment, and then we should also seriously think of the now making the best out of it, and because we to think that we will think that we will find the same opportunity, same form of life in the future is can be very misleading. Is not the right way, and that is why we find in the text that quite frequently it says that this human life is, as it says here, human life is so hard to find. So it's very the life of leisure and endowment is very difficult to find. So indeed it's very extremely difficult to find if we do not utilize this life, the life that we have found right now, appropriately, properly, and then it's there's no extremely. If you do not make this best use of the opportunity that we have right now, then there is no hope of this. It's extremely difficult to find the same life again. Yes. So we will leave the teaching here.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Demi.